Hello Libra, Turquoise Tarot here with your reading for October 2017. I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to know what you guys plan on doing for Halloween this year, if you plan on celebrating. Happy Halloween to you. If you plan on going out or if you plan on dressing up, leave it in the comments below. A couple quick announcements before I get started. One, I'm still offering a special on my private reading. So for a 20-minute one-question reading, it's $20. That is a video reading. So basically, I email you your reading, and if you have any follow-up questions afterwards, you're always welcome to email me, and I'll be happy to answer what I can for you. That information, if you're interested, will be in the information box below this video. Also, if you're interested in making a donation to the channel, which is always greatly appreciated, I will post that below as well. With that said, let's go ahead and see what the messages are for Libra for the month of October. I'm going to do a general reading first, and then I will do a love reading for both singles and couples. Cards together here. What are the general messages for Libra for the month of October 2017? What are the general messages for Libra for the month of October 2017? Alright, I think we're ready. First card out is the Six of Swords, Judgment, Nine of Rods, Three of Cups, Queen of Swords, the Hanged Man, Nine of Swords, the Moon, and the Page of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, overall energy is the Seven of Swords. Alright, let me just look over the cards here and see what messages are coming through. Get a drink here. I think you're thinking about leaving a situation where you have felt trapped, in a sense, or maybe you've been through a battle. This can be work-related, it can be romantically related, but there's an area of your life where maybe you feel like you've been just basically hitting a wall, you know, and it's like, I think you've been wanting to fix the problem, or you've been wanting to repair the situation. But I think in the month of October, you're finally understanding, with the Moon here, underneath the Queen of Swords, which is your energy this month, Libra. You're understanding a sacrifice needs to be made with the Hanged Man. And it's something you have feared doing, or it's something you have not wanted to have to do, but you're intuitively aware that this is something you need to do. You've been in a situation, again, where you have felt trapped and uncertain about how to break free. But in the month of October, it's about understanding what you truly want and taking effort in making that happen. So I think for you, what you truly want is to release this situation or this person to ultimately begin anew with the Judgment card here. There's a Six of Swords here with the Three of Cups, and then the Eight of Swords. So is there maybe a fear that there's something more going on that you're not aware of, or maybe there is something going on more than what you're actually aware of with the Seven of Swords, the overall energy. Somebody's trying to be sneaky and get away with something. Maybe you're calling them out on this in the month of October. And ultimately, it's necessary, because you can't keep staying stagnant. You can't keep trying to work on this relationship when you know that there's something else going on that you're not aware of. For some of you, if this is like a work situation, I just feel like there's a lot of gossip, and it ultimately, it affects you. It affects how you feel in your performance, obviously. I mean, it would do that to anybody. But I think you may be deciding that this is a month in which you need to go look for something else, and you may not upfront tell your employer that you are looking for something else. You may wait until you have a new opportunity before you give your notice or your leave. I just feel like there's been some trickery or some deception. There's something been going on behind your back, and you're aware of it this month, and you're leaving that person or that situation behind because you realize you have to. It's not healthy. It's not to your benefit in any way, and it's like, I just need to start fresh. Let me just look a little bit more into it. I want to say that somebody has taken advantage of your good nature or your emotions because you had the best intentions. I also want to say that this person you're dealing with, they are emotionally not very mature, but also selfish, like very needy. And yet they're not willing to give back to you what you're giving to them. And now is the time to draw the line. Let me look at this with just the Oracle card. We'll try to clarify it a bit further. Oops. Let me look at the Hanged Man first. Yeah. You're having to tell somebody goodbye, or a situation goodbye. You're learning something that causes some grief for you, some sadness, but it ultimately leads to you confirming your path and deciding which way you want to go and saying goodbye to a bad situation. Let's look at the Seven of Swords. Pleasure seekers, surprise, and fortune. It doesn't feel very fortunate when we come across a situation where we get some negative news or we hear something that we don't ultimately want to know. But it is, to your benefit. And ultimately it leads to a fortunate turn in events. Because somebody here is selfish, somebody here is only seeking to please themselves. The surprise card comes in that maybe it's a surprise. This person is doing something, trying to get away with something and being sneaky. I can say that for some of you, maybe it's a fortunate thing. Maybe it's a pleasant surprise around the corner from a spouse after some, maybe some hardships. But I kind of feel more like this is about It's a surprise when you learn whatever this is that they're doing, and ultimately it's fortunate because you're seeing things finally for what they are. There's some mental fog and uncertainty with the Moon card underneath your card, the Queen of Swords. Let me look at the Moon. Yeah. I think you've been holding it in for a while and not saying what you have needed to say for some time, and now is the month in which you have to bring it out. I mean, we have the letter card on the Hangman, which is a formal sense of communication, and then we have the conversation card. For me, on this, the conversation seems a bit challenging because it's not something that you've wanted to do. Maybe it's having to say goodbye to something that hasn't been working out very well. And I feel, again, there's a sense of gossip here, like people are speaking negatively about you in a situation and you're aware of it, but you don't know what to do about it. For some of you, this is like when it comes to love, it's, you know that there's an inkling there that there's another person there, and finally you're realizing it, and now it's like, okay, I need to walk away from this. And you need to have that conversation with your partner. Or maybe they're having that conversation with you and saying it needs to end because maybe they're coming out and saying, I've been having an affair, or I've been having something. But you already know. Intuitively, you already know, I feel. Your instinct is there. Let's look at the Three of Cups. Again, remember, this is a general reading. It doesn't apply to everybody. If you want a specific, more detailed reading about your situation, you can always request a private reading. But on the Three of Cups, we have money, frivolity, and doctor. So I kind of feel like there is healing in this in your life. I don't know what the situation as far as healing the relationship. This is, after all, underneath the Six of Swords. So I think for you, there's a sense of, again, liberation. When you leave this relationship, you can finally heal things about yourself. I think you begin to realize when you step away from the situation and become more objective how trivial some of the things were that this person actually put you through, or what, you know, some of their expectations or their desires. I don't know, I just kind of feel like they were a bit fickle, you know? And ultimately, this leads to you understanding that this relationship didn't have the solid foundation that ultimately you wanted, or that you had hoped or expected it to have. So it leads to healing, it leads to clarity. Let's look at the Page of Cups. Cheerfulness, faithfulness, and melancholy. So you weren't getting this where you were. Cheerfulness and faithfulness. These things are lacking in the situation. That's why we have melancholy here. There's a desire to have it. Ultimately, this being the outcome card, the Page of Cups, it's a pleasant surprise. A pleasant communication, a pleasant surprise as the outcome. Ultimately, you're going to get what you ultimately desire. But I also just feel like this is a surprise in the sense of you weren't expecting it to come out the way it did. And it causes some melancholy. I don't think you want to start over. Let me look at the Judgment card. Yeah, there's some despair over somebody. like you're holding on to someone that you just know you shouldn't be. You know, they're causing a lot of toxicity, I feel. I'm surprised the Devil card honestly didn't come up here. That's what I feel. And you're needing to liberate yourself and break free of that. It's on the Judgment card here. And being that this is a major arcana and at the top of the reading, I kind of feel like this is a month in which there's so much clarity brought into this situation where you're ultimately, you have to face it and deal with it. And that's why you're in the center here facing the Hanged Man. You know that you have to do this. And so you are going to do it this month. You're going to have the bravery. And it ultimately is very good. You know, the cards are saying you're going the right direction. You have to ultimately do what's best for you and what ultimately feels right. Don't do it just because you're afraid. Don't be in a relationship, in other words, just because you're afraid that you won't find somebody else, or you're afraid to be alone, or you're afraid of what may happen after this relationship ends. You ultimately have to do what's best for you, and I see you doing that. Now again, this can be in a romantic sense, but this can also be, you know, in a situation where you're just dealing with a toxic environment. So that's what I have for your general reading, Libra. Let's go ahead and look at love, even though this has some strong love connotations. Let's look at love for Libra. Single Libras. What is going on for single Libras for the month of October 2017? Love messages. Single Libras for the month of October 2017. Alright. So, we have the Tower, the Ace of Swords, the Moon, Seven of Pentacles, Strength, Two of Cups, 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have the King of Cups. Okay. Single Libras. First message I have is I feel like there's a water sign around you. So that would be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay. I feel like this person has finally built up enough courage and strength to be honest with you about their feelings for you. And I feel they have strong romantic feelings for you. In fact, I feel like they've been a bit obsessive about you. And finally, they're deciding to take a chance. I think they've been contemplating this for a while. And I want to say for some of you, this is someone you've known for a long time, or this is somebody that you had a previous relationship with and things didn't work out. Or again, this is someone you've known for a long time, but it never, a relationship never really came to fruition. And this is like an all or nothing kind of month where it's like, look, I'm laying it on the table and you're taking this opportunity. You're taking this person up on their love. For some of you, this could be somebody completely new. But this is somebody unlike someone you've dated in the past. They're not your typical, well, they're not just what you dated, you know. They're not what you would initially think of as, you know, someone you'd want to date. But once you get to know them, a strong relationship builds. I feel like for some of you, there's a need to get over a fear of things going the same route that they've gone before in relationships where in the past you gave your all into a relationship, you gave your all to a person, and they just took it all and took advantage and left you with nothing, taking you a lot of strength and time and courage to rebuild yourself. And now you're in a position where, you know, you're strong, you're a force to be reckoned with, but there's a need to learn how to not be afraid to be vulnerable again in love, because there is love coming in for you. This is a twin flame. This is somebody that you feel very connected to, and you need to just allow yourself to be vulnerable and not expect that things are going to repeat themselves again, okay? But a strong water sign indicated here, or strong water in their chart. For some of you, maybe male Librans, this could be some of your energy too with the King of Cups, where you have very emotional, strong connection to somebody, or you will in the month of October, and you're coming up as the King of Cups because he's the card of emotions. He wears them on his sleeve, this King of Cups. Let's look at the Ten of Swords here at the bottom. Yeah. So for some of you, you're waiting for somebody to return, and they do. That's a possibility. Again, I'm getting a strong, for some of you, this is like you've known this person for a long time. They've never had the courage to say anything. They kind of gave up. And now they've been waiting and waiting, and finally they just, you know, it's kind of a shocker where they just come out of nowhere and say, you know what, I have feelings for you, and I want to see where this goes. And honestly, there's a strong connection here. It does have strong potential. So for some of you, the Ten of Swords is indicating an end to singlehood. Let's look at the Strength card. Yeah. So for some of you, this is letting go of a past, learning that you don't have to repeat the cycle, okay? Again, I feel like this is somebody completely different than who you've been with before. So give this person a chance. It's going to take courage for you to be vulnerable in a relationship and to open up, but ultimately it's going to lead to very happy endings, okay? For others of you, this coming up on the Strength card is talking about, again, ending to singlehood, saying goodbye to that, saying goodbye to the melancholy that you've suffered with, or maybe have felt about love, having strength in and feeling strong in love, feeling confident in love. Let me look at the Knight of Cups here at the bottom as the outcome card. Prisoner, young woman, and consolation. So where love has felt stagnant, or love has felt like, you know, it's a prison in a sense, maybe where you have felt like it's impossible to meet the right person, they show up. And new love begins. This is a young woman, so she's young. This talks about innocence, beginnings, new love. And it's finally, like with the consolation card, getting what you've been asking for. A blessing. Let me look at the King of Cups. Yeah, see? This is somebody who really has something great to offer you. We have gift, lover, and wedding. I see some strong, long-term relationship here with a water sign for you guys. And here you are at the underneath the King. It's the Queen of Swords. So, and Nine of Cups underneath that. And again, I feel like this is coming in rather quickly because we have the Tower here. It's unexpected. It's what you've been hoping and wishing for. It finally comes in. It's a blessing. But just work on being open and willing to be vulnerable, okay, in love. Because I feel like some of you, you've been hurt so many times and now it's just a challenge. So that's what I have for singles. Let's look at coupled Librans. What's coming up with my coupled Librans for the month of October. There's no love messages for coupled Librans. So we have an earth sign in your midst. We have a Queen of Pentacles that popped out. So I'm going to leave this to the side and I'm going to see how it resonates with the other cards. First we have the Knight of Wands, the Hanged Man, the World, Ten of Swords, Queen of Swords, your energy, the Chariot, Five of Pentacles, the Hermit, Three of Swords. Not an easy reading, I'll say off the bat. Again, remember, general reading, so will not always apply to all, okay? At the bottom of the deck, we have the Strength card, which honestly is probably the best card we could get, because it talks about you having the strength to overcome this obstacle. You have to believe in yourself and have faith enough to know that you have enough capability to overcome whatever challenges are here in this relationship. Ultimately, what I see you doing is leaving a relationship. It's as simple as that. I think that this may be a situation where there's a third party, because we have two queens and we have the Three of Swords, so there could be an earth sign in the midst of your relationship, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I have a strong Virgo because we have Hermit here. But this can also just be finances have been a struggle in this relationship. Maybe you've been feeling very burdened by finances. There's a need to let something go in order to regain stability and in order to move forward and be victorious. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to let go of a relationship. For some of you, this, again, I'm getting a strong financial element here, so it may be that you guys are struggling financially and need to let go of something, a financial burden, in order to regain your sense of stability, you know, and it's strongly impacting your relationship. I think you're done with something. For some of you where this is just strictly love related, you're done with a toxic situation. You're done with, I feel like your partner was kind of out there, out and about, maybe being very flirtatious, maybe looking for other opportunities to take advantage. But if that's not the case, it can just be that they are somebody who is maybe got an anger problem, or they're a little temperamental, they jump the gun, you know, they don't think things through, and you're kind of left to clean up their messes, and you're kind of tired of it. I think you're realizing that the only way for you to really find happiness at this point is to let this person be and let it go, and ultimately it leads to some heartbreak, but you have the strength, and that's what the Strength card is here to tell you. You have the strength to overcome this. You don't have to stay in a relationship where you're miserable. Let's look at the Ten of Swords. Yeah. I mean, pretty self-explanatory, right? We have the Sweetheart side and Falseness card. This is about leaving or letting a lover leave, saying goodbye. She's dropped her rose, which indicates love, a commitment. She's saying goodbye to it because it's not all that she thought it was going to be, or maybe there was some deception there. Okay? So I think you're at your wit's end with this being on the Ten of Swords. Let me look at the World card. This is about things coming to completion. This is about also a card of victory. We have two cards of victory here. So we have the Chariot and the World. This is about you. You need to have courage, and you need to believe in yourself. Be confident enough in yourself to know that you're going in a much more positive direction. Let's look at the World. House, room, and conversation. So in order for you to regain your sense of stability, you need to have a conversation with somebody that the room talks about secrets or intimacy. So it's like needing to have a conversation about things that we've been kind of holding in, okay? Maybe about a living arrangement. For some of you, like I said, this has a strong financial feel to it. For some of you, it's about maybe we need to downsize, or maybe we need to move. We haven't wanted to, but secretly kind of we've known that this hasn't been working, so now we need to have that conversation, work on our finances together. I feel like if that's the situation, your partner coming up as the Queen of Pentacles is either an Earth sign, or there's somebody who's like really focused on trying to get your finances back in order this month. But, you know, the World card does indicate things coming to completion, and I think a living arrangement or a relationship situation, you're finally having the courage to speak up. Three of Swords. Somebody hasn't been 100% with you, or they haven't really stuck to their end of an agreement. That can be in a relationship, you know, like your relationship, or it can be like regarding your finances. You know, maybe finances have been hard and you haven't been able to stick to your end of the agreement. But by letting it go, which may cause some heartbreak initially, you're finding happiness because it's a big relief. You know, it's something that's necessary to let go of. Here, with the Hermit looking at the Five of Pentacles, it's like you understand, because the Hermit's underneath your card. It's like you understand that you need to let this go because it honestly isn't serving you. It's a big burden to you, either financially or emotionally. And you need to heal it. Look, we have Doctor, Death, and Wife. So it's like, in order to heal, we need to let something go. Something you had a strong commitment to, this person has strong commitment to, trying to heal it, but you know what? It's not working. You need to let it go. So that's what I have for you, Libra, for the month of October. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Again, if you're interested in a private reading, you're always welcome to reach me. I'll post my website in the information box below. I wish you many blessings this month. Happy Halloween again, and I will see you in November. Bye.